Hi everyone, today's lecture is on multi-dimensional arrays, and I guess if you got the last lecture, then this one should be a lot easier for you. Nothing that complicated, but because it isn't that complicated, I would like to do a bit more interesting things by the end of the lecture, and you see what I'm talking about. So what we are going to be talking about today is matrices and multi-dimensional arrays. Just a little bit, how to declare, how to assign values, how to read, how to print them on the console as well. And then we'll talk briefly about the array class. What can you do with arrays, which is built in with C# and .NET. And after that, this thing that's a bit more interesting is a demo where you'll learn something new, which will also be helpful for some of your games as well. Okay, right. So multi-dimensional arrays. So an array is multi-dimensional if it has more than one dimensions, and you can imagine a matrix or a cube, a hypercube, and so on. I'll be explaining that in a bit. It should not be that much of a step between a normal array and two-dimensional or three and so on. And we'll be looking at matrices mostly. I haven't had the experience with three-dimensional arrays, but I'm sure somewhere they can be used, and it's not going to be even that complicated to go from 2 to 3 or from 3 to 4. If you need, then you probably know what you have to do and which kind of array would you have to use. Okay, right, so matrices. Let me open up my Visual Studio, and let's create a new project. So blank solution, multi-dimensional arrays. Okay, let's create the first one. So matrices, and I need a C# project for that. There it is. Okay, let me rename that. Matrices demo. Okay, so first let's explain what these things are, multi-dimensional arrays. So if you remember last time we were talking about arrays, so we started with a simple, integer, which we represented as a single box with some value, right? So maybe 0 or something like 2. Okay, and last time we were talking about arrays, which were written this way, and I'm not going to type in array. And these represented a couple of boxes which have the same type. So a couple of boxes here, and there are some values here, maybe 2, 3, -5, 1, 4. And each of these had an index, like an address that we could find each value in. So this has index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. So they started from 0 and went up to n-1, which was the number of elements. If n is the number of elements, then the last element is your array of n-1. Today we'll be talking about two or more dimensional arrays. So to initialize a two-dimensional array, you have to put a comma here, which means that there are two values which specify your address. Okay, and now instead of just a list of numbers, we'll be having a table or a matrix of numbers. So you have even more, so something like that. Okay, and inside here we know we have some values, maybe a couple of zeros and so on. And to find a specific cell, now we can't just use the index of this array, right? We'll be needing something else, and this something else is rows. So here we have the rows, and here we have the columns. Okay, so for example, if I want this specific value, it's situated on row 0 and column 1. Right? If I want, say, this one, it's going to be on row, which row? Row 1 and column 3. Okay, that's pretty much it. So I need those two values, rows and columns, to be able to find my cells in this matrix. Okay, if I want a 3-dimensional array, it has to be written, say, like float. It doesn't matter what type. You can do any type, and later in the lecture we'll see that you can make an array of your own data type which you've created, or your own object. So if I want to do a 3-dimensional array, I just need to put 2 commas here, okay? Which means that every value, every cell in my 3-dimensional array is going to have, say, row, column. Okay, you can't see it there, but row, column, and maybe depth or something like that. So 3 values that characterize the specific cell. If you want to imagine it better, I'll just go back to this slide here. So this is the same, right? Imagine that we have the so this is the rows. Say here we have the columns, and this side here is maybe depth or something like that. And if I want to find a cell here, then it's represented by a small cube, maybe this one, and I can find the coordinates to characterize the piece of information in there. Maybe I want to change it, maybe I want to initialize it or something like that. So yeah, if I say 3-dimensional array, then this is what we mean by it. And when we get to 4, you have to stop imagining tables and cubes and so on, and you just have to think that each cell has 4 or more addresses, so that we can characterize each specific cell. But those are very rarely used, and I doubt that you will have to use 3 or more dimensional arrays when you are typing. Okay, so let's start with the demos. And right, any questions? I'm sure that's fairly simple. So if I say a matrix or a 2-dimensional array, everything that you should be thinking about is just an Excel table where each cell here has an address, which is in this case is B3. But instead of letters and numbers in programming, we only use numbers, and we always start from 0. But when I say a matrix, just imagine this thing, just a couple of cells, and I can give values and so on, not to get confused. Okay, right. So how do we initialize? So initialization. Okay, right, so int, this is going to be an int matrix, and I write new int, and then I have to characterize how big my matrix is, right? So if I want to have it, the dimensions. If you remember from last time, when we declare an array, we have to specify at the beginning how big it is gonna be, right? Otherwise it's not gonna work. And yeah, so here I have to say something like I don't know, 2 and then 3. I can also have, you know, different types. So this is a float matrix, new float, and this is going to be, say, you know, 3, 5, so 3 rows and 5 columns. Up here we have 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, if you want to create you know, a 3-dimensional, let's say string string cube equals new string, and then I don't know, 3 rows, 4 columns, and 5, you know, depth, right? Okay. There is another way, I mean simpler way. If you know your values beforehand, then there is a simpler way to initialize a matrix. So int some numbers in a matrix, and again with the brackets, but I have to put a couple of them. So let's say that this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I have to put commas everywhere. Okay, this array now is a bit hard to read, and normally when you initialize it this way, you want to make it clear, or as clear as possible, how your matrix is going to look like. So I like to press enter here, and now you can, you know, definitely see what's going on with your matrix. Okay, now if I want to access, so accessing elements, it's done, you know, pretty much the same way as with arrays. So console write line, and then I want to have some numbers in matrix of and now I have to specify the row and the column. So if I want to have this 5, it's gonna be row 1 and column 1 as well. So I have to put 1, 1, and that should be giving me that 5 after some time has passed. Okay, 5. If I want to do something else, maybe I don't know, this one up here, it's on row 0, so that 3 up here is on row 0, and column which is 2. Okay, and if I, you know, by accident put a 3 here, or, you know, something bigger, I should be getting the index was outside of the bounds exception. Okay, and right, but we don't want to do that. Okay, right, so how do I you know, set elements? So this is, you know, the next thing that we want to do. So I would like to see how do I set elements, and that's pretty much the same way as with you know, variables and arrays and so on. So I have to set all of the values, you know, 1 by 1. This is going to be a lot of lines, right? A lot of lines of code, and I actually want to do it when something is repetitive. I want to do it with an iterator, or, you know, for in this case. So we have the row. Okay, I want to have another for, which is going to be column. Okay, so basically for each row, which are these two, and for each column, so this, and this one, I want to set the values to some, you know, to some number. It doesn't matter what at this point, but I would have to know how to access the number of rows and the number of columns of my matrix. So to do that, there are other methods. So if I put sorry, so here lengths, what is gonna happen, you think, if I put some numbers dot length? So one suggestion is that it's going to give the number of elements of the first row only. Any others? Okay, it's going to give all of the elements of the array. It doesn't matter if it's 2 or 3 or more. dimensional, it's gonna just give you, you know, all of the elements. So in this case, we should be getting a 6 in the end. And I'll put something, you know, more explanatory. So number of elements, and that's gonna be 6. Okay, and there has to be some other way, you know. Control K U. Oh yeah, I got it. Great. Right. So there has to be some way to actually get how many elements you have for each dimension, right? So here we have rows and columns. Sorry, rows and columns. And actually, the method is called getLength. So some numbers dot getLength. And now I have to give an argument which dimension do I want to get the length of. So I start from 0, so the rows are get length of 0, and the columns some numbers dot get length of 1. Okay, if I want to get the depth of a 3-dimensional array, what would you suggest that I use? Some numbers in a matrix get length of 2, right? And as you go up in dimensions, you have to increase this value inside the brackets as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just to remember to start from 0. So always start from 0. Okay, so now we are going going over each column and each row, and I want to say that some numbers in a matrix of row and column, which is going to give me each specific cell. So now I have the addresses of each specific cell, and I want to say that this is, you know, just row plus column, you know, just to see what happens. Okay, and right, so after that is how would we print a matrix, because, you know, right now I've initialized it, and if I put my breakpoint somewhere around here, I should be able to see it now changed in my locals, and that's in here. But that's not a very But that's not a very good way of looking at your matrix, you know. So I want to be able to print it. So I do it pretty much the same way with as with you know, the normal arrays. I'll show you a couple of ways. So let me just stop this first. So printing an array, sorry, a 2-dimensional array, and this is method 1. Okay, again with, you know, 2 fors, and just get used to not seeing row and col. Normally you would see I and j. So here I'll leave it as I. Here I'll just change this to a j, and we have to do the same thing. So some number of matrix get length of 0, and here I would have to do some numbers dot get length of 1. Okay, and now I want to print it. So right, I should be doing this with a space, and then some numbers in a matrix of I and j. And let's see what's gonna happen. So let me just put a couple of new lines here. Okay, this way, but that's not very helpful as well. In fact, what I want to do is, after I've printed each row, which happens when this for finishes, I would like to have a new line. So I'll just put a new line here, and now our matrix is not going to work because here I put right line where it should be just right. Okay, there we go. So this is the matrix, and the way we formed it was, you know, each cell is the sum of the rows and the columns. So let's have a look at this one. So this 3 here is situated on row 1 and on column 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3, and if you check, you see, say this one has row 0, column 1, and this way we get, you know, an interesting matrix. Okay, Right. Do I have another way of printing? I think that this is probably the only one that I'll show. There isn't a nice, cool way as with arrays, where you can just say, you know, string dot join or something like that. This is the best way for you to do the printing. Okay, let's go into something maybe slightly more complicated. I would like to read a matrix now, but I'll do that in a new demo, so in a new project. So, reading a matrix from the console. In fact, what do you think is going to happen if you know, right here I just do string dot join, you know, with my separator and then the matrix, so some numbers in a matrix. Nothing. It just tells me that this is an array, and you know, there is no easy way to do that. I guess this is the usual way that you would use. It's pretty basic as well. Okay, so reading matrix, and I delete this, I delete this, delete all of this. Okay, so let's do this you know, with the not very nice way, and then I'll show you a better way. So we need to know how many rows and how many columns we have. So int rows equals int dot parse of console.readLine, and I would like to have int calls equals int.parse console.readLine. Did I misspell something or no? Let me just change that here before I forget to do that. So okay, then we'll need the matrix to read. We will just need to initialize it, so old habit of not doing that. So int matrix is new int, and I'll be using the row and the col and the columns to initialize it. So the ones that I put, say, you know, 2 and 5, this is the matrix that I'll initialize, but I have to know beforehand what the dimensions are. Okay, so I have to go through each single element. So these are 2 fors to iterate over each one, and here, just, you know, out of kindness, I'll just put row, and here I don't have to do the whole matrix of get length and so on, because I already have the number of rows. Right, and here I have to change that to row. This is col. Okay, so to make it a bit more clear, let me just put here matrix of the rows and the columns. So this is 0, 1 equals, I have to remove that, and here I'll just put the current row and the current column. And right, so after that I need to read each integer in this case, or each value from the console. So matrix of row and col equals int.parse console.readLine. And let's be a bit lazy, and let's just copy this from here so that we print it afterwards, which has to be here. Okay, let's see. Nope, yeah, I have to rename this, so this is just matrix. And I don't even need this, so let me just remove that. This is going to be rows, this is going to be columns, and this is going to be matrix. Okay, now that should work. Okay, so let's see, 3 rows and 3 columns, and it says me which number in the matrix I have to put in. So let's say 1, 2, 3. Now you see that the row is always 0, so we've input here 1, 2, 3, and once we finish with this row, we change it to 1 and we go back to 0. So the next element is going to be this one that I'll give. So this is going to be 4, 5, 6. We change the row again, 7, 8, 9, and there we have it, the matrix. But this is not a very nice way of doing it. What happens if I have a 20 by 20 matrix or something like that, and you want to check what's gonna happen what's gonna happen if you input it, how is it gonna run on your game, or you have to do some matrix problem and so on. This is not a very nice way of inputting your matrix. And what I want to do is, in fact, I want to be able to read read from the console this. Okay, so what I want to do is just input the matrix as is, with the spaces and so on. I can even copy paste it this way, so I can just copy it and then paste it, and the program is gonna run on its own. Okay, and this way you don't have to worry about inputting new numbers every time. Right, so let's do that. Okay, let's make it so. Okay, so we already have this matrix, and I'm just gonna make a new one. So int rows 2 is actually I am gonna use the same number of rows and columns, so I won't be needing that, but I'll still make a new matrix. So int second matrix equals new int comma. And this is going to be rows and then columns. Did I put it in the wrong place? No, it's okay. Right. Okay, so let's think about. Oh, did I mess this up? Yeah, I did. Okay. Okay, so let's think about this. I would like to read each row as is, with the spaces and so on. So this is something that we did last time. Okay. And we should be able to do this now. So for rows, and here I have 4 calls, and so here I'll be reading an entire row, and I want to be doing something with it afterwards. So how do I read an entire row of numbers? We did that last time. With an array. Sorry, read line. Okay, so I'll be needing a string. Okay, I can't be reading this straight into an int or an int array or something like that. So I need a string, and let's call this current row, and this is going to be console.readLine. Okay, what do I want to do after that? So I've read my numbers. I have this as a string, so let me put it there. I have 1, 2, 3 as a as a single string. What do I want to do after that? Split. Yes. So I would like to split it. So that's down here. String numbers as string array, and this is current row dot split by space. Okay, now what this is gonna give me is 1 and then 2 and then 3. Okay, in this array here that I have. Okay, so now I would like to for each row, which I already have, I've read, and for each row I would like to convert these numbers into their respective columns, right? So this is the first row, and each of these are given by their specific column, right? So this is this array here, and in fact what I have to do is matrix, or was it second matrix of row and col. This is going to be equal to int dot parse of and now here I have to put something with, you know, the numbers as string array of how much? Col, right? Because, you know, each of these 1, 2 and 3 will tell me where is it placed in the column of my matrix. Okay, so this has to be a col here, and right, and let's print it again, I guess. So this thing here, I want to copy, I want to paste, and I want to change this to second matrix. Okay, so is there anything that I wanna, you know, erase or something? So maybe this one, I don't want to have it, so let's have a look. Okay, I don't know, 3, 3. Okay, and now I want to input the matrix. So this is from the second example, the one that I was just writing. So let's say, I don't know, 3, 0, minus 1, enter, 5, 0, 3, and then maybe 1, 2, 3. And it printed afterwards the same. Okay, let me just put a couple of new lines here. So where am I printing it? Second matrix should be down there. Okay, right. Okay, but we haven't tested still the, you know, this thing where I just, you know, copy and paste. So let's do that. 3, 3. This is from the previous example, and when I press Ctrl V, straight away we have the matrix, and I don't have to worry about input or anything like that. I just, you know, copy paste. Let's add a couple of more. So let's put a, I don't know, 0 here, a minus 1 here, and you know, 5 here or something like that. So now we have 3 rows and 4 columns, so I should remember that. So 3 and then 4, and Control V, and we have the matrix, and it's all fine. Okay, so now when you have to do some testing, or you know, if you wanna do the 2048 game and you wanna have some testing, you can just do a table like this, and then you just, you know, copy paste it if that's the way you wanna go with an input from the console. Okay, that's pretty much it about reading. Are there any questions? Is this, you know, sorry, is this second example confusing? Especially, you know, this line. The rest I believe is pretty easy. So we initialize the matrix. We go through every single row. We read it from the console to get, you know, this for every row. Then I do the split method, which returns me an array. So it's going to be something like this, in fact. You know, let's use the notations for arrays. Okay. So this is what I get, and after that I would like to be able to read every single one of them, which is going to represent the columns of my array. So right there. Okay, any questions about this? So every single element is gonna be in dot parse of my numbers array, which I change at each step, right? So every time when I have a new row, this numbers as string array is gonna change the value with the current row. So yeah, in dot parse of the current row of, you know, the column number. Is that clear? Any questions? All right. Okay, that's pretty much it. So we have to do it, you know, manually, you know, step by step. I know, but you know, this is a nice way of doing it. Probably the best way of for reading console. And here I did not show you the split by comma and so on, because if you write a matrix, is very weird if you put commas and not spaces, right? It's just going to look weird. So if you've seen a mathematical matrix, so matrix, but I guess if I do that, I'm going to get the movie. So mathematical matrix. You know, it's always given just with, you know, spaces everywhere, and no commas. Whether it's with an array, you know, it's a bit more often that we do it with a comma. Okay, where are we up to? So we are still here, and right. So let's solve a problem, and this is going to be the maximal platform problem, which is, you know, fairly simple. But I just want to show you some problem for, you know, as an example. So maximal platform. Okay, so maximal platform, and here as well, maximal platform. Okay, right, so we have the following setting. So let me just do that. We have the following setting. So we read, amazing, we read a matrix from the console, and we want to find the maximal 2x2 sum of the matrix. So pretty much, if I have some, you know, random matrix 1 2 3 4 -1 0 5 -6, let me just. Okay, so we would like to find the maximal 2x2 sum, which means that I would have to check all of, you know, these 2x2 sums. So this is, you know, how much is that? This is 2, this is 10, this is how much is that? This is 12 -6, 6. So the maximal one is this 10, and I want to output the number 10 as the maximal 2x2 platform. If I have something bigger, then clearly I should be having more options, and I have to check more sums. So it's going to be these two, these four, these four, these four, and then on the next line these four, and these four. Right, and this is what this what the problem is about. Okay, so let's do that. I'll just erase this, and we'll make one as we go. So let's first read our matrix. So I'll just get the things from here. Probably just that thing. Okay, and I have to input it from the console as well. So int rows equals int.parse console.readLine. And I want to do int cols equals int.parse console.readLine. Okay, and now we have those, and I want to rename this to matrix now. And okay, so we've read it from the console, everything is fine, and I would like to find the, you know, minimal, you know, the best sum or the maximal sum. So I have to have a variable for that. So int maximal sum equals. So if you want to have the sum, which is going to be the max number, then probably I should be getting. I should be giving initial value of something very, very small, right? So that I can give it some bigger value as we go. Because if I put 0 and I only have negative numbers in my matrix, then this 0 is going to remain the maximal sum, and it's not going to be correct, right? So if I have a matrix which is, you know, filled with, say if I have just, you know, this one, -1, -1, -2, -3, and then -4, -5, something like that. And if my maximal sum is 0, then I'm not gonna get the maximal sum, which in this case is -7, I think, is this one. -7 because the other one is, you know, a lot bigger. So 2, 3, 5, -14. Okay, so I have to be giving it, you know, the smallest possible value, which is int 32 dot min value. Okay, are we clear on that? I have to start with a very, very small value. Okay, I have to ask you a question then. If my matrix, which is with ints, you know, has, you know, some random int numbers, some stuff that someone puts on the console, then is there a problem that my maximal sum is an integer as well? What do you think? No? Other guesses? Okay, so yes, but why? Think about the worst case scenario where someone really tries to find a mistake in your program. What do you think?
All of the values in the matrix are going to be the highest order of the.
Okay, so if these 4 values are int.max value, or all of them are int.min value, this is not going to be enough, right? This int, because I'll have 4 times int int 32.max value. Okay, and this is definitely going to be more than the possible for int. So here, instead of, you know, int, I should be putting a long. Long is going to do it. So be very, very careful when you do those kind of calculations. Just always think about worst case scenario and whether it's gonna be okay if you use, you know, the type that you want to use. I can still leave the minimal value here, I think, or not. Well, no, I can't. So long dot min value, is there such a thing? Or it should be int 64 dot min value. Okay, right. Okay, and now we have to, you know, go through each and every single cell. So I have to go through this cell, check these 4, then I have to go to the second one, so this cell, check these 4, and so on. So let's do that. Okay, so 4, we have this is for rows, for call, sorry, no, leave that as J, and I would like to have calls here. Okay, and let's make a sum, some dummy variable sum, which is gonna be type long, so temp sum. And here I have to put, you know, calculate the 2x2 platform sum. Okay, how do we do that? Well, let's find out. So let's say that I have this 3x3 table. Let me just draw it. Okay, let's say that this is my current, you know, I and J address, right? So this is on row I and column J. So this is, you know, I and this is, you know, J. Okay, how do I find this cell on the right? What's its address? Okay, one at a time. J plus 1, so I, because it's on the same row, and then J plus 1 because I just move my column to the right. Did anyone say I plus 1? Nobody. Okay. Okay, so what's the one on the left? That's easy. I J minus 1 because the row is the same and I just move my column 1 left. Okay, the one above here, I minus 1 and then J. We're on the same column. This is I plus 1 J. And okay, so this one here, I plus 1 J plus 1. Up here, I minus 1 j plus 1, and let's just fill the other one. So I minus 1 j minus 1, and this is going to be I plus 1 j minus 1. Okay, so now it should be fairly, simple if I have a 2 by 2. So something like this. This is going to be ij, and this one is going to be the same, so plus 1. On the columns, this is going to be plus 1 with the same column, and this is going to be plus 1 plus 1, just shorthand. Okay, let's do that. So the temp sum is going to be matrix of I comma j plus matrix of I plus 1 j plus matrix of I comma j plus 1 plus matrix of I plus 1 j plus 1. Okay, that would be fine, but there is something wrong here, and I expect you to tell me what that is. Okay, I don't need to check the last row and the last column. So let's make here, slightly bigger exam. So example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the way we do the checks is I start with this first one, and I have this square. Then I have the next one, then I have the next one, then I have the next one. Okay, I change my row, but if you've noticed, I didn't get to this cell, because if I had to go to it, I would have to check this box here, and I would be going outside of the array. And this is the same for the column as well. If I check this element here, I would need to be checking this 2 by 2 platform, and I'll be going outside of the array. So right now, if I run this without even printing it, I should be expecting to get outside of bounds exception after I put some values, maybe. Okay, so I had to read that as well. 1, 2, 3. Yes, index was outside the bounds of the array. Okay, so to fix that, I only need to go through all of the numbers which are there, so that I don't get out of the array. So the last number is going to be 5, and the 2 by 2 box is going to be this one, and this is going to be the last one that I have to check. Okay, and to do that, I just need rows minus 1 and then columns minus 1. Clearly, if I want, say if I want to have the 3 by 3 platform, then here I would have to do minus 2 and then minus 2 here as well. But this is just if you have this problem, then you should think about it again. So let me just do that on a new line. Okay, now I have my temp sum, and I have to check which one is bigger. Is it my maximal sum or is it my temp sum? And on the first step, clearly the temp sum is going to be bigger, but after that we don't know, and we have to be checking that at each step. So if temp sum is bigger than maximal sum, I would need to change them, right? So I would like to say maximal sum equals temp sum. Is that clear for everybody? So if by accident I got here at the temp sum something which is higher than my maximal sum, then I would like to say that this bigger value is equal to my maximum sum, and I should be doing I should be printing it in the end. So the maximum 2 by 2 sum is, and then maximal sum. Okay, so let's use some examples. So let's make it here so that I can copy paste and change it and so on. So let's change a couple of values here. Say this is 0, minus 2, Okay, maybe just remove that. And this is 1, this is 2, this is, I don't know, 6, maybe. Okay, so when you look at this example, what do you think is the maximal sum? I can't do it, so I found this one. Is it that one or something else? Can you find anything else? I can't, so expecting this to be 12, 9, 19, 17. Okay, and this is what we should be getting. So let me copy all of that. And I only need to have one space because otherwise it's not gonna work. So I hope this is gonna work or not. You know, let's change that to 0 and we should be expecting a 19. So copy that. So this is 3 rows and 5 columns. So let's run that. 3, 5, Control V, and the maximum sum is 19, which works. Okay, if I change something small, let's change you know, this one to 1, or this doesn't change much. Should be 15. Where did you get that 15? Sorry? 4506. Okay, so now this is this is the thing that we should be expecting. Let's try that again. 3, 5, Control V, and there we go. Okay, that's pretty much it for the demo. Okay, after the break we'll be doing the array class with some nice examples. Okay, so the next thing that we'll be doing is you know, some demo of the array class and the built-in functions which are in Visual Studio and C#. Okay, and I've put some, you know, game logos which are you know, popular because we'll be using those in the demo. So let me create a new project which is gonna be for the array class. Okay, so let me delete those real quick. We don't need them. The array class. Okay, so hopefully here I'll be telling you something new, and for those of you that have experience, this should be at least a bit more interesting than the things that we normally do. So okay, right, so 1 second. Okay, the array class has the following, you know, methods or properties, or, you know, whatever, and we want to do we want to give an example of each one, see how they work and so on. So a couple of you've already met. So this one, rank, you don't know that yet, but you know what length is, you know what get length is. Let me just copy that a couple of times, and okay, so you know what get length is. And after that we have something which is called binary search, which I'll be explaining probably last. Then we have index of, which you don't know, but you may guess what it does. We have last index of. We have also copy, and this takes source, destination, and length. Also we have method reverse, and we have the method clear. Okay. Right. So, what do you think the first one gives you? So, first of all, let me say that there are a bit more, but those are the ones that are most commonly used. If you need something else, right, you can always go on Google. But these are the ones that will be doing more often. And we have lastly, of course, the array.sort or just sort, but we'll be looking at it in a bit more depth. Okay, so rank, what do you think rank gives you? Number of dimensions. Yes, so number of dimensions. So if you have an array, rank is going to be 1. If you have a matrix, rank is going to be 2. If you have a cube, rank is going to be 3, and so on. Okay, length, number of elements in all dimensions. Get length, and here we have to say parameter or dimension. Number of elements in a specific dimension. Okay, binary search. Very fast searching algorithm in a sorted array. Okay, index of, what does that give you? The first index of an element in an array. And clearly this one gives you the last index of an element in an array. After that we have the copy, which is pretty self-explanatory. So we copy something from the source to the destination, and we can specify how many of these do we want to copy. Okay, reverse, self-explanatory. This is so self-explanatory, clear. And we have the sort, which orders the elements, with some comparison property or function property. Okay, and we'll be doing an example of each of these. Okay, so let's go for it. Okay, I'm gonna need a couple of arrays, so let's first do the usual int array, which is gonna have the values 5, 6, 1, 3, 3, 1, 0, say. It doesn't matter. Okay, then I would like to have a matrix as well, which is gonna have some values as well, so 5, 1, 3, comma 2, 1, 2, 3, 6 or 7. It doesn't matter. Okay, so to make it look better, I just press the enter here, and another one here. Okay, now we can clearly see what this is. Okay, and I would like to make the string array, which is going to be games array, and I want to give it some values, so I have them here. Let me first copy that a couple of times. Okay, World of Warcraft, League of Legends, Dota 2. Okay, then Smite, then Heroes of New Earth, Portal, and then I would like to have WoW again for a reason which you will see in a second. So this games array will be the one that will be most concerned with through the demo. I just have the rest for the demos of these. Okay, right, so I would like to print them all, and if I want to print every single one of them throughout the demo so that we see what happens to each, I would have to write probably about 7 or 8 lines every time when I want to print. So the best way is, just to give it just to make it a method. So something like print all arrays, and I have to give it the array, the matrix, and the games array. And this method is going to do everything for me. So once I want to print something, I just call this method, and it's going to do all the job for me. And I don't have to say, if I want to print this 10 times throughout the demo, I wouldn't have to copy paste 7 lines of code all the way. So this is going to make it look better. Okay, so I've created the name for my method. So what should I do to generate the method? Control dot and says generate method, and I just press enter. I don't read, and there we go. Pretty much everything here is what we want, and I just have to write my code here the same way that I would normally do it, as if I was writing in the main method here. Okay, so let's print it. Okay, so I would like to have a separator. So there's going to be new string, and I would have this dash, and I would like to have it 50 times. After that, let's print the array first. So this one is probably the easier one to do. So array, and here, and I would like to say, how do I print a normal array? There was one thing that you had to remember from last lecture. String.join, thanks. String.join, and I have a separator here, which is space and comma and a space. And after that, I have my array, which is this thing here. And that should work. Okay, after that, I want to print my matrix. There it is. So let's do that. I need to have a for. Before that, I want to print, something a bit more explanatory. So matrix, and let's print it here. So matrix dot get length of 0 for j matrix dot get length of 1. And inside here, I would like to print each value. So separated by space, this is going to be matrix of I and j. And after that, I would like to print on a new line. That's pretty much it. So okay, after I've printed that, I would like to have also my games array, which is going to be the most important one here. Games array, and that's going to be string.join, and here I'll have my games array, and I would like to have a separator as well, which is going to be this. Okay, that's pretty much it. So let's see what we've done. Come on. Okay, it looks good. I would like to have another separator at the bottom, maybe. So let me just copy that and put it at the bottom. There. Maybe a new line as well. Okay. Right, I told you that this games array is going to be the one that we'll be using, and we'll be doing more operations with it. So I would like to be able to print only it, right? If I have, say, just for the sort, if I do 3 different things, then I wouldn't want to print all of the arrays. I would just need the games array, because the others, will be the same. So. Okay, so this what I'm trying to say is that I would like to have a method that just takes the games array and just prints that and nothing else. So let's make one. Okay, you don't care what this is at the moment. print all arrays, and I would like to have just games, string games array. I just pretty much copy pasted everything from this line, except that I only will be using this thing, string games array. And right, so here I would like to, you know, just copy paste that there, and you know, the separator at the top as well. Okay, let's try this out. So we've printed everything right now, and I just want to give first of all, is there a problem that this method and this method have the same name? Sorry? Someone says yeah. Okay, let's vote. Yes? Let's vote. No, it's not a problem. Okay, the correct answer is no. Now, those of you that guessed it, can you tell me why? Okay, because there are different number of values that I give to my method. So if I give to my method 3 values, then it's gonna do all of this. Okay, if I only give it 1 value, it's gonna do this specific thing in the second method. Okay, so this is called the signature of the method, and even though they are called the same, there is a way to differentiate between them. Okay, so here I have, you know, 3 elements. Here I have 3 elements. So the here I have just 1 element, and the signature is different. Okay, it is even possible to have another method which has, you know, 3 values here, but if they are not in this specific order, int array, int matrix, and string array, then it's gonna do something completely different. Okay, when we get to methods, we'll talk about this a little bit more. Yeah, so this one has 3 elements. It's gonna do this thing, and if I just give it 1 element, it's gonna use the second array. So let's try it out. So let's do print all arrays, and I would like to give it games array, and that should appear at the bottom of the page, hopefully quickly. Okay, so there it is. And in fact, what I've just done is, if I now just, you know, just pause and just show you this, and I open a bracket, right down here you see 1 of 2. Okay, so there are 2 methods with the same name that are gonna do different things. Okay, and now if I just sorry, let's do that again. So the first one that shows me is with just with the string games array, and if I press down, so if I press down, 1 second, I didn't press down. Let's try that again. So down. Okay, and this is 2 out of 2, so this is the second method with the same name, and it has, you know, array, matrix, and games array. So I'm allowed to do that. Okay, right. So let's you know, delete that, and let's get started with, you know, the examples. Okay, so the first thing is, you know, rank. So let's try that out. So the rank, array rank is this array.rank. While I'm at it, let's do matrix rank. This is going to be the matrix.rank. And so I should be expecting, so rank was number of dimensions, and I should be expecting to get a 1 for the array and 2 for the matrix. So let's do that. See what happens. Okay, array and matrix, 1 and 2. Okay, then we have the length property. So I'll be doing matrix length, which was the number of elements across all dimensions. So matrix dot length. And so our matrix is this one, so I should be expecting how many? 6. And matrix length is 6. Okay, after that, let's see, matrix rows. How do I access that? Get length of 0. Okay, and let's do matrix calls, matrix dot get length of 1. So we have 2 rows and 3 columns, and that's what we should be expecting. Yes. Okay, so this is the matrix, and this is what we have here. Okay, right, after that let's go to index of. So index of, what do I have here? Portal. And I would have to do games array dot index of. Okay, so it's not here. I have to do array dot. So some of the methods I can just give straight away to the or the properties I can just give straight to the object, and some of the functions which we see here I have to use the array dot class to access them. So array dot index of, and every time when I do that I have to read what it expects me to do. So I have to give it an array, I have to give a value, and it searches for the specified object and returns the index of the first occurrence. Okay, so index of, so it tells me to put an array, games array, and then I want to put a value which is going to be portal. Okay, and where is portal? So how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if we start counting from 0, this should be at position 5. Okay. Okay, portal is at 5. Okay, now let's try the other thing, which is last index of wall, and array dot last index of, and I'm gonna put here games array, and I would like to search for World of Warcraft. Okay, so I have it at the 0th and the last here, and the last, so we counted them as 7, and the last one here should be 6 if we count from 0. So let's see whether we get that 6. Okay, what happens if I search for non-existent value? Sorry, index of non-existent value. Let's see. So array dot index of, and I have to put here games array, and let's put, you know, something random. Okay, Half-Life 3. Is it hyphenated or not? Half-Life 3. Okay. So what do you think is gonna happen here? Confirmed. Okay, not. What do you think is gonna happen? Out of bounds error. Well, here we're not trying to access anything which is, you know, outside. We are just trying to find if something is there or not. So what do you think? An error? Okay, this is one guess, and another guess. It can't be 0, right? Because 0 means that it's in the first position, and if it actually gives us an error, that wouldn't be very nice. Because what happens if I want to say, well, if I find that this item in the array, do something. If I don't find it, then do something else, right? It's not gonna be very nice if I use this index of and it just, you know, gives me an error somewhere in the middle of the code. So what do you think is gonna happen? Sorry? Not a number. Okay, so yeah, that's a good guess, but checking whether something is not a number or if it is a number, you know, that's not very nice to do. And let's see what happens. We actually get a -1, so this is, you know, very normal and usual. You can easily check now, so if index of some object is bigger than or equal to 0, that means that the element that we're searching for is in the array, and if it's less than 0, that means that it's not in the array, right? And this makes this check very easy. Okay, anything else? What happens if we have two different values which are not in the array? The answer is still gonna be -1. So if I just change this, you know, it's gonna be the same. And even if I add another line of code here which is the same, and I search for another value here, it's still gonna be -1. So the answer here is always -1. Was that your question? I answered it. Okay, I'm happy. Okay. Now we're up to the, well, not yet, but still something a bit more interesting. So now we would like to copy a part of you know, this games array, and you know, we don't have to do it manually, and I don't want to copy the whole thing. So that clone method that we did last time, that's not gonna help. And I can use the array.copy, but first let's create the games copy, and this is gonna be new string. Let's say that I want to copy just the first 5 elements, and right, so array.copy, and I open up the bracket, and if you can see here, it says source, destination, and length. So whenever you're using something, I don't remember those. I'm just used to, you know, reading what it says, and it's very clear. Sometimes, not always, but in this case, you know, how more clear can that be? Okay, so we have the source, which is games array. We have the destination, which is games copy, and we have the length, which is games copy.length. Or I could have easily said 5, but what happens if I just want to change, you know, this value? Okay, and let's print the games copy array now. So print all arrays, and I want to print, you know, first the games array, and after that print all arrays. I would like to print the games copy array, and let's see what happens. Okay, so this is the games array, and I've copied just the first 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. It works as usual. Okay, what's gonna happen if now here instead of 5 I put a 10, and you know, let's just see that first. Okay, I get an error. You know, index was outside of bounds because the first array had only 7 elements, and I am trying to copy more than I actually have. And if I put a 5 here, just so that, you know, we make sure that we copy only a couple of elements, I'm just gonna get some random elements here. So here I have commas and some, you know, empty string elements. But you know, just playing around with it, nothing that special. So let's leave that here as 5. Let's do games copy.length. Okay, what else? Yeah, so here I wanted, yeah, let's just leave it like that, or actually not. So copying the first 5 games, and then this way. Okay, then we want to clear, so array.clear, and what does it say here? So it says we have to give an array, we have to give a starting index, and we have to give the length. Okay, so let's do that. I want to clear the game's copy, and I would actually say it here, clearing games copy. And right, so games copy, I start from 0 and I want to clear everything, games copy dot length. I can clear less, but you know, let's just clear the whole thing. And I want to print it afterwards, so let me just copy all of that. Right, so this is our games copy, and this is when we clear it. So you know, it works as if as expected. Okay, something a bit more interesting now. We're gonna start sorting. So sorting games array, you know, default. So array dot sort, and I just give an array, and that should be everything there. So games copy, and I want to print it afterwards as well. Oh, sorry, not this one, but games array, and I just want to print it afterwards, see what happens. Okay, so how would you expect it's gonna sort the array? It's an array of strings, and how do you expect? Alphabetically. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so D, H, L, P, S, and then the 2 W's at the end. Okay, so it does that. But what happens if I actually wanna, you know, sort it in some other way? You know, some way that I've specified. And here comes the a bit more interesting thing. So say that I wanna sorting games array by length. Okay, let's say that I want to sort them, you know, by length and not, you know, alphabetically. Or what happens if I want to sort them alphabetically but reverse? Well, clearly you can first sort them and then, you know, say array dot reverse and so on, but you can do it with the sort function straight away. So let's actually do the here I'll just say, or use, no, actually let's do something else. So let's first sorting games array default reverse. So I want the first element to be World of Warcraft, so I want this to be the first element. Let's see how we do that. So array dot sort, and let's see. So here, if you notice, come on. So can I do it this way? No. Let's do that again. So here I have, you know, 17 different methods for array sort, and depending on what I give and what kind of values and so on, it's going to do different things. So this that we are currently using is just the first one where I have an array, but if I put it down twice, I get this thing which is called comparer. Okay, so I can say, well, sort my array, but I'll tell you how to compare the elements. Okay, so the default comparison is, you know, alphabetically, or meaning that I check the first letter, you know, where is it in the ASCII table and so on. But say that I want to do the length, or I want to do it reverse. All of this you can give here with lambda functions, which we kind of noted last lecture. So games array, and here I have to give a comparison. And how do I give it? With a lambda, which takes 2 values, x and y, or, you know, I can just call them game1 and game2. It's whatever you want, so let's use that here. And I would like to say how to compare those. So right, so here I don't want to do anything, you know, weird. I just want to reverse the sorting. So let's see how to write that. So game1 dot compare to, and here I'll just put game2. Okay, and let's see what happens. Okay, it's pretty much the same here, right? So this is, I'm sorry, where's my default reverse? I didn't print it, right? I didn't print it, so let me print it here. Okay, so this is default reverse, but I see that it's pretty much the same thing, right? So here, this is the way of typing, you know, the default comparison method. And if I wanna, you know, switch the order, I can just switch that to game 2 compared to game 1, and that should now reverse the order. There it is. Okay, so I know that this is a bit weird, but this thing is called a comparison method. So let me give you an example with numbers if you're not, you know, aware of what I'm talking about. So let's say that we have, you know, the same way that I have an array with strings. Let's say that we have a couple of numbers. And what this lambda says, so I'll just write the lambda here, x, y, and then x dot compare to y. Okay, so what this thing says is, you know, if I give you any two numbers, then you should know how to compare them. So say that if I give, let's say e.g., if I give it 1 and 5, just as, you know, these two numbers, you know, x and y, the program is gonna know, because these are numbers, and you know, C# can compare numbers. It's gonna say, well, 1 is less than 5, right? So I know how to order them this way. And this is what you actually do. You give, with this function, you give a way of comparing elements. Okay, if I wanna have this y and then x, what's gonna happen is that this is gonna be now a 5, and this is gonna be a 1, which means that I've switched my order, and in this case I've switched my comparison method from less than to bigger than. Okay, maybe I want to compare something else, and the next example is precisely for that. So I want to sort by length. So let's see, array.sort, and I'll have games array, and here instead of game 1, game 2, I'll just put x and y. So these are two elements from the games array, and I want to describe how would I like them compared. So okay, I want to get the lengths. So everything that I have to type is x.length dot compare to and y.length. And now I am saying, instead of using your default, right, because here I only have, you know, game 2 compared to game 1. I'm not giving anything specific like a property or something like that. Everything that I'm saying is use your default comparison method, which is alphabetically, but since I do it game 2 first and game 1 second, it's gonna reverse the order. Here I am saying, well, instead of using your default way of comparing things, compare with respect to the length. Okay, and this is what's gonna happen. So I should be expecting to get something like this at the bottom. Okay, so first 3 letters, then 5, this is 6, this is 6 as well, with the space there, and I have Heroes of New Earth here as well, which is, you know, the longest. Okay, is that clear?
Can you do sorting by length and alphabetical order?
Can we do, yes, this is in your homework. You can try that, but it's not that complicated. So if you ask me a question like this, then I would say that there are many methods. You can do it by hand, so you can sort first, and then go through the array like once, and then sort them by first letter as well. But you can try something like this. You know, you should, you know, do your own research and so on, doing a couple of sorts at the same time. You can do that very easily with link, but you're not allowed to use link in your homework. So sorry, you should use that. But this is like equally good. Like when you do the link way, which is with order by, then it's pretty much the same thing that you have to give this lambda expression. Okay, do I have anything else interesting for you? Sorting, and right, I wanted to have the binary search. So this array.sort, I'll have a separate demo probably after the break, which is a lot more interesting, but you know, this is nice to know just as an introduction. So now I want to do binary search here. So binary search. How many of you know what binary search is? Show of hands. Binary search. Phones at the back, or you know, laptops or something. I don't know. So okay. So how many of you know what binary search is? Binary search. One person. Okay. I'm sure that once I explain it, probably more than half of you will have heard of it. So binary search is a way of searching, so very fast, again I'll type it, very fast searching in a ordered array or sorted. Okay, let's do some explaining. Okay, let's say that I have the numbers 1, 2. Oh, I really want to type them. I don't want to do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, and I tell you, you know, guess a number of your choice. Sorry, no, think of a number of your choice, and now try to guess it in 3 attempts. But you only have to tell me whether it's, you know, bigger, my guess, whether it's bigger or not than your, you know, secret number. So let's say that we've picked 7. Let's say that we have a 7. Okay, so my first initial guess would be, you know, to just split them around the middle, pick that 4, and my guess is gonna be 4. Okay, you were gonna tell me that yours is bigger, right? Because we've guessed. Sorry, you've your secret number is 7, so you are going to tell me that it's bigger. So I should be expecting anything from here to the right, which means that all of these are, you know, not there. Okay, right. Then I do the absolutely same thing. So I split it down the middle. I pick that 6, and I tell you 6. And you still tell me that it's bigger. Okay, this had to be orange. Okay, bigger, so it means that it's around here somewhere. And I do the same thing. I split, I take the left one, and I take that 7, and I say 7, and I win from the 3rd attempt. Okay, now how many of you have seen this? Okay, less than half, but anyways. Okay, so this way, if I want to extend, you know, the problem of searching, then I can tell you that if I have the numbers 1, 2, 3 up to 1024, using the same way. So every time I make a guess, and you tell me whether my guess is, you know, smaller or bigger than your secret number, then I'll do the same thing. I'll split it in half, you know, pick a side, and so on. And I would be able to guess your number in 10 steps. Okay, and these number of steps, you know, they are very, very fast. So if we were to guess a number between 1 and, you know, int.max value, which is, you know, 2 billion or something, 2 point something billion, then 2 to the power of 31 actually. Yeah, so this is, you know, a big number. This is 2 billion and something. I would actually need precisely 31 steps to guess your number, the position of the number, meaning, which is, you know, really cool, because if we use index of, I would have to check, right, probably all of the numbers until I get to your specific one. But with the binary search, this is done a lot faster. So let's do an example of that. So I would like to do that same thing. So 1, 2, 3, and then many steps. I'll have 128. I'll have 256. I'll have 512, just so that you kind of get it better. And somewhere on the right I'll have 124. Okay, so let's say that you've guessed some number like 77. I'm not gonna do the whole algorithm, but just to show you how it works. So okay, I know that you have guessed a number between 1 and 1024. I split it by half, so this is the number 512. So I say 512, and you say that your secret number is smaller than mine, and so I delete everything which is on this side. Okay, I split the rest by half, so this thing I split 256, and I say 256, and you tell me that yours is smaller than, and so I know that everything from 256 to 512 is not there, so I split again. I say 128. You tell me that yours is less than, so I delete everything here. Then I am gonna say 64, which is half of 128. Now you are gonna tell me that yours is bigger, right? So I have to delete everything here, and you see that just in 4 steps I'm left with only numbers from 64 to 128, right? So I've kind of narrowed it down quite a lot, and this is the algorithm, and it's really fast. So let's do that. Index of heroes of New Earth. Comma, and actually no, I'll just do it on a new line here. Or not. Let's not. Okay, so array.binary search, and let's see what it asks of us. I have to put the bracket, so we have to have an array and the value that we search for. So let's do games array, and let's print heroes of New Earth. Okay, let's see if it works. Come on, honey. Okay, it says -1, but then again, this is our array, right? So something must be wrong, and I did say this, and I mentioned it a couple of times. What is wrong with our array at the moment? It's not sorted. Okay, so if it's not, then this whole comparison thing where you tell me whether it's bigger or less than or something like that, well, that's not gonna work. So you're not gonna give me the correct information, and it's not gonna find the value in the array. So what I want to do now first is array.sort games array, and it should be able to find it now because I've sorted it. And it says position 1, and I would like to print after I sort it. So ready for binary search. Yes, and here I would like to say print all arrays of games array. Okay, so this is sorted now, and Heroes of New Earth is at position 1. Okay, and now it's correct because the array is sorted. Okay, so the last and probably most interesting demo is going to be the structs and array.sort, and we'll be doing bunnies today. Since this is some time past, let's have a very short 5-minute break. Okay, so this is the final demo now, and we'll be dealing a bit with structs and a little bit more with the array.sort, so that you can see that it's not just, you know, sorting by, you know, length or maybe some integer properties. You can sort your own objects, which in this case it's gonna be bunnies. Okay, so let's create a new project. So this is 5 structs and bunnies. Okay, so let's call that bunnies. Yes, and I want to delete that and delete that and delete that. Okay, so first of all, what is a struct? So a struct is where you create your own data type. So for now we only deal with, you know, integers, strings, floats. What else do we have? Decimals, okay, maybe big integer or something like that. But here we would like, sorry, chars as well. Yeah, but those are not built in and they're boring. They're called primitive data types. And after that we take arrays, but they're kind of limited to, you know, those integers and strings and so on. We would like to create our own structure or our own data type or our own object, and we're gonna call it bunny. And so the way you do this is, you know, struct bunny. Actually, if I just put struct and press tab, you know, nothing much there, but you know, it just helps. So let's call that bunny. And let's say that we want our bunny to have a name. So it's gonna have a what else do I want to have? I want to have, say, you know, number, and maybe health. And let's put that number as an integer. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, and right, so this public, you don't really care about it now, just ignore that, as if it's not there. But we would like to have a name, we would like to have a number, we would like to have health, and these are all properties of our bunny. And now if I would like to create a bunny, I would just like to say bunny, my cute little bunny, and that is new bunny, this way, the same way as you would do with, you know, integers. And now I can say my cute little bunny dot, and I'll have these, you know, oh come on, this is very annoying. Okay, so I am gonna have the health, the name, and the number as properties of this bunny. Okay, but I want to do something else, right? So right now I can say, you know, dot health equals 0. Let's be mean. Our bunny is dead, and I can give it a name as well. Dot name equals special. And right, but you know, this kind of defies the purpose of having your own structure, right? So if I want to create, you know, 3 or 4 bunnies, or you know, a place, you know, with, you know, 10 bunnies or something like that, it's gonna take me a lot of lines to do that. Okay, I would like to be able to have a nice and simple way of creating a bunny. And just to put it out there, so if you're making your own game for your team project, this is going to be very helpful, right? So instead of having, if you remember Falling Rocks, there we used, you know, just simple int dwarf x equals int dwarf y equals, you know, string dwarf symbol equals, and so on. Okay, but what happens if I want to create a second dwarf, right? I would have to, you know, use these values again and so on. It's not going to be very nice. I would have to be doing a lot of lines to do that, and then do the whole functionality and so on. So this would be perfect, you know, for for your characters, for your rocks, for all kinds of things, to use this, you know, struct. Okay, right, so let's go back a bit, and I'll be doing something which you should not remember and you should not know. You should not know now, but I'll tell you what it does afterwards. So it's kind of like, do you know what is the sea? And you say no, and I say, well, then imagine a nice big ship floating on the sea, right? So you don't know what struct is or what that thing that I'm gonna say is, but you know, we should be working with it, so just ignore that. Okay, so constructor, this thing is called a constructor, where I'll just show you what it does. I'm not gonna get into that much explanation. Sorry, I have to put that string name, int number, int health, and right now here I want to say name, I want to say, and health equals health. Okay, so you don't know what that is, but right now if I want to create a bunny with, you know, a specific, you know, name, health, and so on, I can do it straight away here, straight with this new bunny. So let me delete that and that, open up the bracket, and if you see here, it says 1 of 2. Can you see that? Okay, so clearly I can just initialize it this way. It's fine, but I can also initialize it with the second way, and it says now string name, int number, and int health. Okay, and I can give those straight away in here. So I can give it, you know, the name Pesho, and it's going to be number 1, and health is going to be 0. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So this makes my job a lot easier, right? I don't have to have, you know, 3 lines for each property to be able to initialize it this way. And right, so right now I can just say, you know, my cute little bunny dot health, let's say name, and if I build it, it should be saying Pesho if this thing decides to run, please. Okay, right, if you are getting confused about this, please remember when we do new string, and here I have to give a character value 10, and I'm sorry, not 10, what am I doing, dash and 50. So I'm using this quite a lot, and this just giving the values that I want to initialize my string with, and this means 50 characters which are, you know, dashes. So this is the same thing that I'm doing. I have my bunny, I want to give it a name, a number, and health, and this is everything that I'm doing, nothing that's, you know, complicated. Okay, what do you think is going to happen if I just print this thing? Should I be expecting something like Pesho, then space, then 1, then space 0? Sorry? It's going to give you the type. Let's have a look. Sort of. It gives me the class name. I think that was the class name, and then it gives me the type. Okay, what happens if I do then toString? It's gonna print everything. Other suggestions? Nope. Okay, let's have a look. Well, same thing, right? I wish it was that easy, you know, just say toString and then it prints everything out. In fact, it's not that hard to change this. So this method toString, I can tell it specifically what I want it to do for my bunny. Okay, so let's do that. So public override toString, and you don't care what that is. Override means that, you know, this method2 string that I've just used, I want it to do something else. Okay, this is what this override means. String means it's gonna return me a string, right? Because this is what I want to type. And right, so let's put something meaningful here. Say name there, and then plus this dot name plus what else do we have? We have number space plus this dot number plus health and plus this dot health. Okay, so it's gonna say name, it's gonna give me the name of my bunny, then it's gonna say number, the number of the bunny, and then it's gonna say health and the health of the bunny. Right? Let's have a look. What's gonna happen now? Great, it's what I wanted. Okay. Right, so let's get back to, you know, the actual demo. What I want to do is, you know, have an array with bunnies, and I want to be able to sort them either by, you know, name, by health, or by number, and I can do that in reverse or however I want. Okay, so let's do that. Instead of having this, you know, bunny, I would like to make an array of bunnies. So how would I do that? Bunny array, my bunnies, and this is going to be new bunny array, which has to be like that. Okay, how many bunnies do I want to have? Pick a number. Not that many, I don't want to type all night. So how many? 7. Okay, 4. I like 4 better, so sorry. Okay, so 4. And right, I can do it this way and then say my bunnies of 0 equals and so on. This is fine as well. And here I have to say new bunny of, and I have to give it a name, so Pesho. Then I have to give it and even it helps me down here. It says string name, int number, and int health. So number 1, and then health is, you know, let's bring it back to life, this one. Alright, I can do it this way, or I can just say up here, I believe I can, I'm not sure. So new bunny, and I'm gonna put Pesho, and then 1, and then health to 200. And the same way as with, you know, with arrays, I have to put comma and then bring another bunny. So let me put an enter here, and I can just copy paste all of that and create 4 bunnies. But I can do it with the indices as well, right? Just initialize your array with 4 elements, and then for each one, my bunnies of 0 equals new bunny, blah blah. Then my bunnies of 1 equals new bunny, blah blah. Okay, so a name for the second bunny. Gosho. Gosho Junior. I want to make it a little bit longer. So this is going to be number 2, and it's going to have health 100 because now it's junior, so we expect it to be, you know, small. Okay, then what else? Toshko. I don't know, anything. Toshko Senior. Senior. Same number of letters? No. Okay. So this is going to be number 3, and this is going to have health, say 500, because he's, you know, the big guy. Okay, what else? Polya the cute. Was that what you said? No? I heard Polya. Okay, Polly. No? What did you say? Olak. Jesus. Okay, from the garden. Okay, this is number 4 and has you know, 250 health for some reason. Okay, right. So now if I want to print them clearly, for each, and I want to say bunny, and in my collection, which is my bunnies, and I would like to print each of them. So bunny dot toString, our brand new method that we put over here. And let's see what happens. Okay, we have all of them, right? And now let's, you know, sort them in a different way. So I would like to extract this as a method, just because print bunnies, just so that I can use it. Okay, so sort bunnies by number. Oh no, let's do it first by name length. And what I have to do is array.sort, and can you help me from here on? Anyone? Sorry? My bunnies. Okay, comma. What do I have to put here? XY. After that, I would have to say, so I want to sort them by name. So x dot name, and dot compare to, and then y dot name. Okay, and then I would just want to print them. Maybe add a separator here. New string. And I want to have that 50 times, and here as well. Okay, so by name length. Okay. No, so it didn't do it by length. I have to say x.name.length here. Let's first see what actually happened here. So it sorted them alphabetically, right? So G, O, P, and then T. And I want to do it by length, so I have to add this dot length here, and I have to add this length here. And now it should be fine. Okay, so Pesho, then Gosho Junior, Toshko Senior, and in fact this is the same order that we have, so let's just change something here. So this is gonna be just Gosho, this is gonna be Pesho Junior. And let's do that again, just so that, you know, there's some change to it. And yeah, so right, it's by name length. Okay, let's sort them by number reversed. Sort bunnies by number reverse. And this has to be array.sort my bunnies, comma, and then xy. What do I have to say after that? x.number. Okay, y.number, because they are reversed. y.number dot compare to x.number. And I would like to print them as well. Print bunnies of my bunnies. Okay, let's see. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, and probably the last one that we'll do. Sort bunnies by health. Array.sort my bunnies, comma, x, y. The interesting thing is here that even though I, you know, give it just the value x and y, which is, you know, very non-descriptive, it's a value of your choice. Here I have all of the values of my bunny. So I have the health, the name, and the number as well. So it kind of guesses what am I trying to do by this collection here, or this array here that I have. So x dot what did I say, health dot compare to and then have y dot health, and we should see them, and I have to print it. Yes, thanks. So print bunnies of my bunnies. So 100 to 200 to 50 and then 500. Okay, that's pretty much it for the demo. Do you have any questions? Did you all understand what I was, trying to explain? Okay, yeah. So this is how you make your own, your own structure or your own object. So this struct bunny actually tells you what would I like my bunny to be like. So it's like an abstract bunny structure. So I want to have each bunny to have a name, each bunny to have a number, each bunny to have a health, and I would like each bunny to have this toString method which I specify. Okay, so this is only the structure here. I'm not doing anything specific. I'm not initializing it or anything like that. I'm just saying I want you to be like this. I'm just giving my structure. And right now here, this is now a specific object which has specific values for this abstract structure. So the name, we now have a value. For that name, we have a value for the number. We have a value for the health. And we just initialize them, and then after that we can do the array.sort in a more interesting way. So say that for some reason in the Falling Rocks game I would like to be able to sort all the rocks by color or by symbol or something like that, where you can do that very easily. So you just have all of your rocks in an array, and then you just sort them, maybe print them out afterwards, and so on. So there are a lot of possibilities even for your games that you can make. So I said this, but I want to say this again. If I want to go back now to the dwarf game, the Falling Rocks, this is the way that I would do it. So every dwarf has a symbol, has dwarf X, has dwarf Y, and has a color, right? And with this way, if I do it this way, I can create a second player just by it's up to writing a new dwarf there, and that'll be it, which is a lot easier. Okay, any questions? No? Okay, homework. Okay, so you have to make these matrices. Some of them are very easy, some of them are a little bit harder. So this one is fairly simple: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. This one is like zigzag. This one is quite easy as well. This one is a bit bad, but if you've managed to make the spiral one from one of the previous examples, then you should be fine with this one as well. So this is like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 11 12 13 14 15 and then 16 at the top. Okay, so question number 2 is similar to the one with the platforms. Instead of just being 2 by 2, I say 3 by 3. So you can start with the problem from the lectures and build on it. Okay, this is a very simple way of using binary search method. This one is probably like 10 lines of code. After you input your arrays, probably 3 lines of code. So very simple problem. Okay, this last thing is very similar to the one with the bunnies that I made. So you have to make students each having ID, name, age, gender, and score out of 100. Create an array of 10 students and sort them by ID, name, reverse name, age, score, name length, and first by gender and then by name. And I put this in brackets so that you don't get confused. These two are, together. Okay, you're not allowed to use link. For those of you who know it, or for those of you who don't, you still cannot use link. You have to try with the array.sort or some other clever or not that clever way. Okay, and finally, this is optional. Do the 2048 game in the console, and this one you don't have much of drawing, so that thing that we did with falling rocks is a game. We had symbols, colors, and so on. Here the only thing that you have to be printing is the matrix, but the hard thing about this game is the logic behind how you combine the numbers and so on. But I guess it will be interesting, and if I not put it in the matrix homework, I don't know where else. Yeah, this one is optional. If you don't do it, then it's fine. You can still get the maximum score. If you do it and it works, that's a huge bonus for you as well. Okay, right. So references, and if you have any questions. Okay, thank you for your time.